To other stories, governments at all levels in Nigeria and other stakeholders have been advised to champion campaign against assault on policemen in Nigeria. A cross-section of experts, while speaking on cases of assault on policemen in the country, emphasized the need to respect the fundamental human right of policemen as members of the public. Correspondent Hilojo completes the story.
The issue of fundamental human rights of citizens, no matter their status in the society, is central to progress and development of such society or country.
Every individual has a fundamental human rights under the Constitution, and that, of course, includes a right to life, right to association. Every other fundamental human rights are enshrined in the Constitution.
Human rights are two sides of the same coin. You cannot begin to talk of democracy in the absence of human rights. And so it is apart from democracy, human right is a universal basic right of human beings.
Before now, police brutality on innocent Nigerians has been a recurring scenario which on so many occasions attract widespread condemnation from all and sundry. Although the trend is being addressed with heavy sanctions on perpetrators, assault on police officers is gradually raising its ugly heads in Nigeria and with great concern.
Twist of tail in which people think that because we are preaching responsible policing, and then you can then begin to harass police, you can then begin to slap police, you can then begin, of course, to disrespect them. They have fundamental rights to their own dignity. And the fact that an individual has signed to police the Nigerian society does not make them less human. And so we should respect them. As a matter of fact, the uniform they are wearing is not their own uniform. That is the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
I have cases of private citizens, brutalizing police officers. And I would say that is the height of disrespect to state authority. And I want to say now that the police must take it seriously. You see, if you are putting on a military uniform, a police uniform, you represent the state.
According to Section 98 of the Nigerian Police Act 2020, a person who assaults, obstructs, or resists police officer in discharge of his duty or aids or incites any other person to assault, obstruct, or resist a police officer or other person aiding or assisting the police officer in discharge of his duty commits offense and is liable on conviction. Assaulting a police officer can happen at any time when a police officer comes in contact with the public and there is the potential for a police officer to be assaulted. What then is the implication of assault on policemen who are saddled with the responsibility of protecting innocent citizens from dangers and all forms of abuse?
Well, you see, as much as people have the right to be hungry, but we also have the responsibility to know the limit of our hunger. You understand? You see, some of these things people do them under the influence of, whether alcohol, whether whatever, So because it will take something out of the ordinary, for a private citizen to raise up his hands and slap a police officer.
When we harass them, when we assault them, when we make them feel less human, of course, it shows that we are not respecting Nigeria, and so of course we can also be charged. So the police have their own fundamental human rights to protection. We should protect them. It should not be a case, and that is why wherever that happened, you will see people who would record it the same way they would record any case where the police has assaulted a Nigerian.
Respondents maintain that there are avenues that have been established to address personal grievances against police officers, and that members of the public must explore same rather than assaulting officers, no matter the level of grievances.
So we should treat police rightly the way we want them to treat us. Of course, there is no 100% saint anywhere, but by the time there is no policeman that has not been sufficiently trained on how to deal with civilians.
The state should begin to, the police personnel have been educated on the need to respect right. Similarly, Nigerian citizens the government should begin to educate citizens on the need to respect not only the rights of the police officer or anybody in uniform, but the rights of, Nigerians.
All said and done, the important roles of policemen in the society cannot be quantified. Members of the public must at all times protect and respect them while discharging their constitutional responsibilities. Kunle Ojo, Galaxy TV.